Hey, what's up, everybody? Chris Martinez here, your favorite host in the entire world, running the best podcast in the universe, Operation Agency Freedom. And guess what? Today, it's not just me blabbing on and on and on. I've got an amazing guest, Robert Craven, one of the nicest guys that I've met in this industry. He's an agency coach. He's been in this business for years. Robert is a rock star. He's going to talk to you about his framework that he teaches to agency owners so that they can scale and grow their agency and continue to serve clients, but also, of course, improve and increase their own incomes and the value of their business. Because agency owners are notorious for not paying themselves enough. And so Robert and his expertise, he's also British, by the way, so you could probably just listen to his voice all day long, but he's incredibly kind, he's incredibly knowledgeable, and he knows how to help agency owners grow their agency and grow their profits and their incomes. So definitely pay attention to this interview, take lots of notes, reach out to Robert, by the way, if you have any questions. He's a fantastic person if you're looking for a mentor. Yeah, just pay close attention to this. You're probably going to want to listen to it at least 2 or 3 times. And of course, at the end of the episode, make sure that you visit our website, because there you can see all the show notes, any links that are mentioned by myself or by Robert. And then after you've done that, subscribe, because once you subscribe, then you will always be the first to know when we have a new episode. So with that being said, let's head over to the full episode, and I hope you enjoy. All right, Mr. Robert Craven from the UK. How are you doing, sir?
I am phenomenally well and delighted to talk with you. You are a magnet of positive energy.
Thank you very much. You know what? I had the keto coffee this morning. People always wonder what's in this thing. So keto coffee. So my energy level is up, and I'm just excited to chat with you. And I love what we were talking about prior, kind of like the framework that you developed to help agency owners. So we're going to get into that in a second. But for those who don't know who you are, why don't you give us your elevator pitch and a little bit about your story?
Hi, well, it's Robert Craven. I run a business called GYDA Initiative. GYDA stands for Grow Your Digital and Agency. Grow Digital. So what we do is we work with agency owners, agency founders, help them run the agency they want to run so they can live the life they really want to lead. So that's what we do. And we do that one-to-one with coaching and mentoring. We do it one-to-few with mastermind groups, and we do it one-to-many. We do a lot of keynotes and a lot of conferences and training and so on and so forth. So that in a nutshell is what we do. Owner-founders, digital agencies, that's who we work with.
And how did you get into this business?
As we were heading towards the millennium, for those of you who are old enough to remember it, and we thought planes were going to drop out of the sky, I was on the board of an agency, and we had about 15 people in the UK and about 45, 50 people in Bangalore, and that was kind of my introduction. And then winding on, I ran a consultancy. We did loads of stuff, more and more service firms, more and more professional service firms. Come 2015, it was all marketing services, marketing agencies, digital agencies. And at the same time, we were invited to run a really big program for Google Premier Partners across 32 countries. At the same time, I wrote the book, Grow Your Digital Agency. And then we made a decision to go from being a generalist consultancy to working specifically with digital agency owner-founders, because they are different and we love them.
Yes, absolutely. So when you made that transition, you started to focus on digital agencies. Do you remember back when, or what was the motivator that you decided like, hey, these are the folks that I can have the biggest impact with? What was that trigger point?
I think the trigger point was the industry. I mean, the people, what I love is that the people are young-minded. And what I love is on average, the age of a digital agency owner-founder is younger than a cocktail bar owner or a architect's firm owner or whatever it is. So they're younger-minded. It's, in some senses, it's the same as any other business, because what do you need to worry about? Strategy, marketing teams, finance, leadership. But on the other hand, it's got this unique thing that everything keeps changing really, really quickly. The goals, everything's moving. And I guess our real driver was to change the industry, to change how marketing agencies are seen by getting marketing agencies to do awesome work so that the clients see them as being really awesome. I think agencies often do themselves and do the industry a disservice because they're just not delivering the goods.
You know what I've seen with agencies is that they're so like other oriented. They love to give and give and give. They get more excited when their agency has a big win than when they are personally making more money. And so sometimes they put their own needs on the back burner because they're so focused on trying to over deliver for the client, which I think is a fantastic quality. Yeah. At the same time, we're running a business. And, just from a practical standpoint, you can serve more people if you yourself are doing well, right? That's kind of my belief.
Absolutely. And I'm a fan of working a 4-day or a 3-day week, not a 6 or a 7-day week, because you come up with better ideas, you're more focused, you're more structured, you're delegating more, and the business probably runs more smoothly because, when we were talking earlier, you use this phrase about, the agency owner being the bottleneck. They are the bottleneck. They build the business around themselves, and then then they can't go on holiday, and then they can't spend time enjoying their kids because their brain's going, what if, should, and they wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, what if, should. Yes, and they need other people to be doing that stuff, and they need systems and processes in place that make that stuff happen, not that everything has to come across my keyboard.
Let's talk specifically now about what we were discussing prior to jumping on, which was the strategy part. Really, what I interpreted it as you help them to kind of re-engineer the business and create a plan for the long term that's going to help the agency owner hit their financial goals, but also just have a happy life. So can you talk to us more in detail as to like the process that you've developed that leads to
Yeah. So, but give me a big T for a timeout when I've gone on too long. Strategy is the fun stuff. We all do strategy away days. It's all great fun, and then we don't deliver on it. So next year we go back and we're even more cynical about doing it. Now, we all know that success is 95% about execution, 95. But you've got to get that 5% of the planning in place. It's like waking up in the morning and putting your underwear on the wrong way around. You've got to make sure you get all that stuff sorted out. So strategy,
when that happens.
It's hard. It's so uncomfortable. So we've got to get that sorted out. And most people are pants at doing strategy. They don't know what strategy is, and they don't know how to do it, and they don't know how to implement it and deliver it. So we've created this thing called Game Changer as a piece of A1 paper. It all fits onto that one piece of paper, and it goes like follows. So the high level is, where are we now? Where are we going? How are we going to get there? What are the steps on the way? What are we going to measure? Rinse and repeat. So on an annual basis, on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis, rinse and repeat. Simple as that. So let me just give you a bit of detail. Where are we now? 1, give yourself scores out of 10 for your financial performance, your marketing performance, your operations performance, and your people and culture. Bear in mind, your finance performance is a consequence of how good you are at marketing and operations. The better you are at marketing, winning customers, the better you are at operations, doing the doing, the better your financial performance will be. So do that. So that said where we are now. Now, where do we want to be? This feels a bit business schooly, but it's only a one-sider. Level 0, what is our purpose? Why are we doing what we do? I'm not too fussed. I know there's people out there who love Simon Sinek. I'm not absolutely obsessed about having to have a big purpose to solve the planet's problems, but many people do. So level 1, what is our... Don't worry about the business school phrases. You can use whatever phrase to define these things, but it's what's in the boxes that matters. Level 1, I call it vision, which is what's the blue skies picture? We want to be known as, we want to be seen as. It's very, very right brain. If we know what that is, next level is the numbers. Call it the mission. What numbers do we want to be hitting? How many people turning over what amount of money? What number of offices? How many clients, average value of clients, just 4 or 5 numbers. And this is about, so where do we want to be in 3 years' time? So purpose. We know what the purpose is. We know what the vision is. We know what the mission is. Next, strategy. How the heck are we going to do it? Are we going to do it by being faster, smarter, brighter, friendlier, ruder, onboarding, outboarding, outsourcing, joint ventures, single niche, multiple niche? Again, it's 3 or 4 sentences. If we hit the strategy, we hit the mission. If we hit the mission, we hit the vision. Hit the vision, hit the purpose. And then underneath strategy, milestones, what are the steps on the way? Finance director in 18 months, new offices in 2 years, head of client services in 2.5 years, whatever those key milestones are. And then underneath that is the devil's spawn, I call it, which is the KPIs, the stuff you need to measure. Now, hold forth on KPIs before anyone turns off, because KPIs, it's how most people use them, which is rubbish, but they are actually awesome, wonderful things to have. So where are you now? Where are you going? Okay, now how are we going to get there? This is where we stop being all business schooly and smart arts, because remember that where are we going thing's only one page of A4. Get a piece of wallpaper, roll it and stick it up on a great big wall or down the big boardroom at the meeting at the hotel where you are. Write down where you are now, the numbers, write down where you want to be in 3 years' time, mark off end of year 1, end of year 2, end of year 3, and now get out Post-its and stickers and start mapping out the things that need to happen. Do that as a team if you've got a team, so that the marketing guy says, if you want me to get 10 new clients a month, I'm going to need a marketing assistant. And the accountant goes, a marketing assistant, that's going to be $25,000. And then the operations people say, if you want me to service 10 new clients, we're going to need 3 new members of staff. And so it goes. So the Post-its all get pulled around. The team together make the plan. If you're a one-person business, you can do the same thing. You just do it on your own, do it on a pad of paper. But the successful businesses that I know, and I've worked with probably some of the best in Europe, all follow this or an incredibly similar process. So we've done, where are we now? Where are we going? We've mapped down how we're going to get there. So now what on earth are we going to measure? Now you remember we talked about KPIs. There are loads of them you wrote, the number of toilet papers you used, and now as you're open, and the electricity bill and the finance. This is what you do. I talked at the beginning about finance, marketing, operations, people and culture. Get a piece of paper, 4 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mark 1 finance, 1 marketing and sales, 1 operations, and 1 people and culture. And select a maximum of 4 measures for the finance box, the marketing box, the operations box, and the people and culture box. Those are 4 measures which can either predict your performance, or they can historically look at your performance. And those become your dashboard. You can make them red, amber, green, but that becomes your dashboard that you can look at on a monthly basis to evaluate your performance against the wallpaper, which is against your 3-year strategic plan. And the businesses that have a system, a process that every month they check in, they look at the red, amber, greens, ask why, ask what they're going to do about it, make the changes and adjust, are the ones that do it. And in fact, as your agency get larger, you can have those dashboards set up, not just monthly, but you can have them weekly, and you can have them set up for departments. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it means that you're not just waking up Monday morning, turning on your machine and looking at what's in front of you. You are being systematic. You're applying the 80-20 principle. You're reminding yourself what you're doing first. So just to add to that process, finally, the business for each year and then each quarter and then each month should be saying, what's the one thing we're going to achieve this year, quarter, month? And likewise for you as a business leader, you should be saying for this year, what's the one thing I'm going to achieve and 3 other things? What's for this quarter, what's the one thing I'm going to achieve and 3 other things? And this week, what's the one thing I'm going to achieve and 3 other things? And because we're looking at me, every morning, what's the one thing I'm going to achieve today and 3 other things? So we're kind of 80-20ing, we're prioritizing, putting a system in place. Now, I've just explained to you something which is obviously a bit more complex to put in place, but those are the nuts and bolts. And my point is all of the 50, 100, 200 person agencies that I've worked with have a process that is plus or minus 10% around what I've just described.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. We follow a very similar process. And we do a leadership meeting every Monday, and we talked a lot about these things because, we're about 3/4 of the way through July right now, but still at the beginning of the quarter. So we talk about all those things in very, very much detail. Now, I'm sure that there's some smaller agency owners, though, that listen to this and they're like, I just don't have enough hours in the day to be able to get these things done.
They do have enough hours. The reason they don't have enough hours in the day is because they don't wake up Monday morning and say, what's the one thing I'm definitely going to do this week and 3 other things. The reason they don't have enough time in the day is they don't say no to enough stuff, and they think, it might turn into something big, we better do the work. Oh, they phoned me on Saturday, I better answer them. No, tell them what your opening hours are, tell them what your your level of service. Tell them what you will do and what you won't do. Be absolutely clear about who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with, and and stop the tail wagging the dog. And I think that too often, especially small agencies, go, "Oh, they phoned on Saturday, so I thought I ought to do the work with them. It only took me 3 or 4 hours. And in any case, my kids were watching a movie." I mean, who's running the business? Yes, be customer centered. Just be clear about what your promise and what your offer is to them.
Absolutely. A lot of that comes down to the wanting to please other people, because I see that so much in the agency owner kind of personality profile. Some of that comes down to fear, I think, where they're afraid that they're going to lose the client, right? Not knowing that there's many more clients out there who are going to pay them a lot more money and will respect your weekends. But what would you say from your experience are some of the hidden traps or subconscious limiting beliefs that are keeping these folks from getting to that next level?
Oh, great. I think the big one for me has got to be about price, being nervous to put your price up. Everyone who's watching and listening right now, I want at least 95% of you to put your prices up now. And oh no, not me. You don't understand what it's like running an agency doesn't matter where it is, in Tennessee or whether it's in Croatia. It's different here. No, the math is speaks so clearly about why you must put your prices up. So let me just explain quickly, right? Say you're selling for $10, buying for $7, 30% margin. That's your business model. If you put your prices up by 10%, the price goes up from $10 to $11. You can afford to lose 25% of your customers and make the same amount of money, okay? Mm-hmm. What that means is you were working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're now working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can spend Friday improving the product, improving the service. And who are the customers that you lose? The customers that you lose are those complaining ones who phone up on Saturday. The customers you lose are what I call a pond life and scum. It's never good enough. They're never going to be your ambassadors. They just want cheap, cheap, cheap. Now, you're saying, but it's not like that in Tennessee or Croatia or wherever you are. If you put your prices down by 10%, we've got to put our prices down to be competitive. By putting your prices down from $10 to $9, not only do you attract the pond life and scum who will phone you on a Saturday and Sunday and it's never good enough and they're going to want it cheaper, 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 cheaper. Can we have more? Can we have more? Can we have more? But also, in order to have the same amount of money in your back pockets, the math says you now need to work an extra 50% of the time. You now need to do 50% more sales to stay in the same place. So you were working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You now need to work an extra 2.5 days in the week, which is Saturday, Sunday, and next Monday morning. It is bonkers. It is madness, okay, to compete on price. What you need to do is compete on everything else but price, about being faster, smarter, brighter, friendlier, ruder, some agencies, but don't compete on price. It's a fight to the bottom where the person with the biggest pockets is going to win. And I can tell you right now that you are almost certainly not the person with the biggest, deepest pockets.
So a lot of that to me, everything that you just talked about is what I would classify as focusing on non-sexy stuff. And this is where you and I are in perfect alignment, because it's the non-sexy stuff that ultimately determines whether you're going to win and have that dream lifestyle, or you're going to struggle, not making what you deserve.
It's a bit like an iceberg, isn't it? You see, you see the Rolling Stones go on stage, but you don't see 200 people behind the scenes, rigging, driving coaches, doing the accounts, paying the bills, sorting out the hotels, So, and I think it's a similar thing. There is the sexy stuff. Wow, look at this website we just designed. Wow, look at the PPC results. But underneath that, there has to be systems and processes. There has to be spreadsheets, all the stuff that I never wanted to have anything to do with, know. But because I wanted to do the exciting stuff. But someone in the business needs to be really great at putting together services and products. So it's like plug and play. So it really is like plug and play. So that you know where you made money, where you didn't make money. So you know how much you should be charging for a deal. So you know who's going to do the work, and you know what's going to happen if for some reason it takes longer, and you know what's going to happen. Because somewhere in the organization, we've got written down, this is what we do. Yeah. And it's about having, whether it's a massive Google sheet or whether it's, a fancy piece of software, everything that we do is in the manual. This is how we onboard staff. This is how we onboard customers. This is how we run a mastermind group. This is how it's all there at the touch of a button, but you've got to sit down and design it.
Could we do a little role play? Could I map out a scenario of an agency owner and you could give this fictitious agency owner kind of like the initial prescription of what they need to fix in the first 90 days? Because I'm just curious as to what you would say. Could we do that game?
Yeah. So you're an agency owner called
Okay.
Chris.
So here's the scenario. So agency owner, let's just call him, I don't know, Billy. So you got Billy. Billy runs the agency with his wife. So it's Billy and his wife, I don't know, Nikki. And so they have two other employees that are technically independent contractors, but they do work full time in the business. They're doing about $450,000 a year in revenue, about $30,000 a month, or let's just call it $360,000 is monthly recurring revenue that they get from $1,000 a month retainer, doing everything from website, basically just on call, whatever the client needs that they're going to do. They and then the rest of the revenue comes from one-off projects like websites or setting up an ad campaign or something like that. So 360,000 from recurring, 90,000 from one-off projects for staff. Billy and Nikki are only making about collectively, they're making about $80,000 a year. The rest is going to contractors and then all the other stuff that's required to run the agency.
I've met them.
You met them. See, I meet them all the time too.
Yeah. I met them. Okay,
so
right. So
the worst part of all is that Billy and Nikki have not taken a vacation together in 2 years. They don't get to spend as much time with their kids as they want. They're constantly pulling all-nighters. And, they deserve better. They know they deserve better. And the best part is that they're willing to make a change, but they just don't know what direction to go into. So there's the scenario. 90 days. What are we focusing on?
Okay, so let's start with the end in mind. What is it? What do they want it to look like at the end of 90 days? So once we've kind of agreed that piece, life becomes much easier. It's much easier to work towards something than away from.
I would say, let's just throw this out there. The priority is to no more all-nighters, no more working on the weekends. Yeah. Just want to spend. I don't even care if I make the same amount of money. I just want to be able to get my life back.
Yeah. Okay. So we need to give them more time. And I reckon they can get probably about 20% of their time back, each of them, almost just by being organized, just by saying, I'm going to do 20 hours a week in the business, doing delivery, and the rest of the time I'm going to work on the business. And I'm going to ask them to take Fridays off, which feels a bit radical and a bit bonkers. But if they take Fridays off, they're going to spend time with the kids, they're going to paint the wall, they're going to go for a bike ride, they're going to go for a swim. And their brain is going to be thinking all the time about the business and how to do cute and clever stuff. Also, it's quite easy to condense from 5 to 4 days. You just need to work a bit more effectively in those 4 days to make that up. But they will start becoming a lot smarter and much shrewder. Now we've given them back some time. So how can we help them get more time? They need to have more people in place doing more work. So I suggest they go to you, Chris, or whether they recruit them, they can reduce the workload pretty quickly if they wish to. But more importantly, they need to put processes and systems in place. And the first time round is going to be quite laborious. This is how we onboard. These are the steps. These are the processes. After we've done this, we talk to them there. Here's the interview. But, it's just linked so that the next time they recruit someone or the next time they onboard a client, they just go through the list. They also need to stop taking any kind of work that they take all the time. They need to start, in effect, commoditizing. So we do $5,000 websites, or we do $2,000 a month PPC campaigns, or whatever it is, so that there is a sense of rinse and repeat, that they're not creating stuff all the time. I think they also probably need to create what I'd call a service level agreement with their clients, which is we can now change where they are. The clients are currently on $1,000 a month. We can now say we've now got platinum, gold, silver, and bronze services. So this is the way we're going to put the prices up So you are currently on bronze, but we're upgrading you to silver. We've recognized that we've been over-servicing you, which is fantastic for you. So now we're going to put you on silver, which is the proper price for the amount of hours we work for you. Because, by the way, we've been working how many hours it is. If you want to downgrade to bronze, that's fine, but bronze is virtually hands-free, no contact. Silver is good. Then there's gold, and then there's bronze. Now remember, people will always want to spend more money with you. This is the espresso theory, Starbucks theory. Why does Starbucks sell $3,000 espresso machines when everyone's buying a $3 cup of coffee? Because 1 in 100 people wants to spend $3,500 on an espresso machine. So can you please have an espresso machine in your business? So if someone wants to have the platinum service, which is, I don't know, half a day a month with Billy, plus a weekly report and so on and so forth, they can have that, but they will pay for it. So you're moving into consultancy and away from delivery. So we've done processes and systems. We've given them back their time. We've now got 2 other things to sort out. The one is they need to create a marketing machine. So the marketing can't be random. We need to have in the same way that you do it for your clients, we need to have a funnel for marketing, getting hold of customers, deciding who our customers are and aren't, making that happen. Within that, I would transform the website. So our website answers all the client questions. So what's the client thinking when he comes to you? Because he could or couldn't buy from you. He's thinking, how much are they going to cost? What's going to go wrong? What are other ways I could get this output?
Yeah. Is it going to turn out like the other 10 people?
Yeah, is it the other thing? Yeah. What are the other businesses that offer similar types of work, and what's different about them? And who have they worked with? Answer those questions on your website, so that because no one ever answers those questions. So people just go away from your website. Answer those questions. So you sort out the marketing, so you improve your cost of customer acquisition. You improve, and you say these are our perfect clients are these sort of people. And if you're these sort of people, don't bother coming to talk to us because you're wrong for us. We won't do you any favors. We won't enjoy working with you. It's not going to work. So filter really clearly. So you sort out the marketing piece, and then you sort out what you and I have called the unsexy stuff, the dull, boring stuff. Now, it is going to take a bit of investment of time to invest in the dull, boring stuff. And it is going to be like pulling out the heroin needle because you're addicted to urgency. You're addicted to delivering to client schedules. You're addicted, and you're not behaving like a CEO. What does a CEO do? A CEO, the CEO of the bus service doesn't drive the buses. The CEO of the bus service, he makes the decisions. And you need to have someone in the business that is there making the decisions that enable the business to actually run. And I think that actually what we're asking them to do, 90 days, we're not going to complete it all, but we're going to just shift their mindset. Because I think the big thing here is changing from this, if I don't do it, I'm going to miss it. If I don't jump on this bus, there won't be another bus. I can't charge that amount of money. That really limited mindset is just killing Billy. It's killing them because they're just burning away. And once they adopt a growth mindset, if they miss this bus, there'll be another one in 10 minutes. In fact, there'll probably be 2. And if client says, no, you're too expensive, that's actually a really good signal that you're starting to charge the right amount of money. And if you start saying to clients, these are the hours that we work, and these are the hours we don't work, and the client says, but we need to talk to you on Saturdays and Sundays, you can say, fine, we've just created a 999 service, or a 111 service for the States, I guess, which says, you can call in the weekend, and it's going to be $250 an hour for us to do the work. Otherwise, it'll be the standard $100. I mean, whatever it is. But it's just about shifting them from being a market trader, I want to actually saying, this is my business. I'm taking control of it. I'm still going to deliver awesome service. I'm still going to do great stuff for people, but I want my life back. And the happier I am with my family and my friends, the more I'm going to enjoy my work. And
absolutely,
and I need to get back into that positive life cycle. We work to live. We don't live to work.
Yes.
Because otherwise their identity is, poor me, it's not fair, no one appreciates me, I work so hard, oh, poor me, and it's just really, really boring. And it's like, how about celebrating the great stuff that you're doing and enjoying it and putting your head up and taking back control.
Yeah. Yeah. I love, kind of like my new phrase that I talk to people about is like, when are you going to decide to make what you're worth? Like when is enough enough? Those are the clients that we love to work with because they're willing to do anything. They're tired of it. We brought on a client a couple of months ago and they're in that $500,000 range. You got like the owner and one other employee. And they're just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to live like this. I deserve so much more. And I was like, dude, let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I agree.
And some of that's just about putting in place some clear numbers and identifying clearly. So what is it you want to do? You don't want to work on Saturday. Fine, we can do that. Give me a diary, pencil. There you go. You can't work Saturdays anymore because it doesn't exist.
Yeah. You listed out a lot of things, and that's the thing is it's not that hard. Like all those things that you listed might sound overwhelming. 100% doable in 90 days. Truth be told, you can probably do it all in 60 days, right? And then it'll take you another 30 days to adopt the new habits. But the implementation goes a lot faster than you might think.
There's a book and there's a process that we use called My Best Year Yet. Mm-hmm. And in it, you identify you look at your past and then looking forward, you look at the different roles you have in life, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, father, boss, CEO, and then you write down 8 goals for each of those 8 roles you have in life. And then you circle the top 8 right the way across. So it might be under relationship with my mother, visit my mother. The goal might be visit my mother once a week or talk to my brother once a month, but you list the top 8 and then you go for it. And what's really interesting is stuff which is really big, like I need to talk to my mother about the inheritance tax, or I need to talk to my business partner about changing the shareholding, or I need to talk to my biggest customer about the fact that we're going to put prices up. All those things kind of get done in about 10 days because most of them, although they're going around our head, it's a 10-minute conversation or a 20-minute conversation. It's ticked off and it's no longer wild and it's put away and you can get on with the next thing. And it's just taking ownership of it, getting in control and letting, stopping the tail from wagging the dog.
Absolutely. I love that phrase. Well, Robert, we're just about out of time here. So I do want to thank you so much for coming on and talking about the non-sexy stuff. What is the best way for people to get in contact with you?
The best way is, so the website is GYDA, GYDA, GYDAinitiative.com, and I'm RC at GYDAinitiative.com. We've got a free Facebook group. We've also got a member hub, subscription-only member hub, and I'll give you the link, but we have a link which will give your friends and colleagues. It's a 3 months free access to the member hub. It should be $99 a month. And that's what we'll do. But RC at GYDAinitiative.com. Love to talk to people. Drop me a mail, and of course Twitter, LinkedIn, and all the usual.
Fantastic.
All the usual channels.
Awesome. And final question: who would be the perfect person to reach out to you today?
The perfect person would be someone between 10 and 50 staff, feeling that they've hit a bit of a glass ceiling, feeling, it's what we've talked about really today, feeling that they could be doing better and want to make some changes in their agency.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks again so much for being here. To all of our listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean so much to me if you could share it with your friends, family, and basically anyone who will find the same value in this episode that you did. And to get the latest from me, then let's definitely connect on social media. You can go to Facebook, facebook.com/Dude Agency, or Instagram at dudeagency.io, or you can check us out on YouTube on our YouTube channel. And then, of course, you can always visit our website at dudeagency.io, where you can see all of our other episodes of Operation Agency Freedom. You can also register for any live trainings that we have going on how to run a highly profitable agency. And of course, you can see how we help digital agencies with the people, the processes, and the education so that they can take on more projects and scale profitably. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.